We have Nelson Emilio joining us, and Nelson is a personal branding strategist and a LinkedIn expert who travels the globe talking about how leaders and other people, job seekers, companies can enhance their personal brands and how that works for their career and their business and how they can use LinkedIn, which is going to be the focus of our conversation today. Because you always have the inside scoop. Tell me a little bit about how you got into LinkedIn. How do you got into having this as one of your specialty areas?
Well, I work with LinkedIn since 2004, basically 1 year after LinkedIn was born. And I start using LinkedIn to find new partnership. So I was looking to ways to enlarge my network beyond the usual networking that we did in 2004. And LinkedIn was a great tool to reach out. And basically, if we look to LinkedIn mission is basically to connect professionals and make them more successful and productive. So LinkedIn is all about networking. And this is one of the things that many professionals forget when they tried to use LinkedIn. They focus on content, but they forget the networking, which is critical.
So we were going to talk about mistakes that people make on LinkedIn, and that's probably one of the biggest ones that we see. Tell me a little bit more about why you think people focus or don't focus on the networking.
Because we generally follow what the other social networks do, and they say, well, post content, post videos, text, images, and of course LinkedIn entered in that game too, but the cornerstone of LinkedIn is all about networking. Of course, the content is a way for us to reach out to other professionals, but not everyone is comfortable in posting content on LinkedIn. But they can use other ways to reach out professionals and strategically enlarge their network to find the key person inside the company, either to do business or to hire them, and even enlarging the network, because LinkedIn uses our network to position our LinkedIn profile. So if you are not enlarging your network, please start doing that now.
What would you say is the way that people can start making connections?
Well, we know that we have now 30,000 as a maximum in terms of connections on LinkedIn. And also LinkedIn limits the number of connections requests we can send per week. But usually if we look, why? Because LinkedIn doesn't want us to start sending connections requests as like crazy. So they want us to start sending connections requests strategically. How can we start? Well, first, we can go to the university, to the school where we were or where we are, depending on the audience we have here, and start looking for alumni, other professionals that are already in the market, that studied in the same university as you, probably in the same course as you. And you can start from there. You can say, hi, I went to the same university as you like 2 years ago, or whatever you want. But this is a easy way to connect with your fellow colleagues, for example, or former colleagues that went to the same university. Now, if you are in a company, you can start enlarging your network to your colleagues inside the company in other locations if you work country-wise, or probably if it's an international company, to other colleagues in other countries where you can start connecting with them. And you just need to say, well, hi, I'm Nelson, and I'm enlarging my LinkedIn network to fellow colleagues in Portugal, in Spain, in Brazil, in the United States, whatever. So this is easy, because if you personalize your message, LinkedIn says, you have a better chance to be accepted from the other side instead of just sending a connection request without any note. But start by doing that. Start by looking to the university and to your company as a first step to connect with others.
Yeah, and I know some people might say, oh, but they just reduced the free account to where you can only use like 10 personalized messages a month, I think. We'll start there and max that out and then worry about the limit. Might be have to go faster if you're trying to job search or something like that. But it does, let's just start where we can. I love that. Just send that message, tell people how you're connected, and start using it for networking. Now, once you're connected to someone, Nelson, what do you recommend in terms of kind of staying in touch or nurturing that relationship with those people?
That's another struggle. That's because sometimes we connect and okay, now I don't have anything to say. Well, start following the activity. So we can see everyone's activity. Well, if there is activity, of course, inside LinkedIn. So start looking to what are the posts this person is posting, what are the interactions in terms of reactions, the likes, the loves, whatever reactions they do, because that shows a little bit of the personality of the other person. Mainly if you have content that was posted or written by them, but you can see what kind of interests does this person has. And well, you can interact with them first, one, with their content. If they post something, that's one. Two, interacting means not only reactions, means comments, but comments with value. Something that you see, you have, for example, a different perspective on the post. So share your perspective. Don't be afraid of that. But you can also use direct message. This is one of the most, well, there is no secrets, of course, but most hidden secrets on LinkedIn, which is direct messaging. And you can interact with this person by sending something like, I loved your post. So do you have any other content available on internet about the topic that you talked about, something like that. But using these two kind of interactions, it will give you more visibility because, well, although we need to focus on what is our strategy, sometimes we need to play LinkedIn's game. And LinkedIn's game is about interacting with content, about using the tools that LinkedIn makes available to us, right? And sometimes LinkedIn is focused more on one specific item because they want to, well, increase the usage of that functionality, that feature. Just be you. Just look for content that other persons do, then what kind of activities they have, and genuinely interact with that and share your thoughts. If you don't want to share publicly, well, send a message.
Well, and I know that recently, because messaging is one of those features that LinkedIn is trying to get more people to use. So if you message someone, they will see more of your content. Now, that doesn't mean that you want to send people a link to your post and say, hey, look at my post. But no, it just means that I could reach out to Nelson and say, hey, Nelson, it's been a while since we chatted. I wanted to check in with you. And that message will then mean that LinkedIn starts showing that person more of my content.
Yeah, and there is one thing that you touched that's very important. Don't be pushy because LinkedIn reads, let's use this word, reads the content that is available, not on LinkedIn, all platforms. They read the content that is available on their platforms because it's their platforms. Now, if you start being salesy, it's like you are being pushy and you try to send the same message to everyone, that message will be considered as spam inside LinkedIn. So then you are being tagged as a spammer, and then you will have not the effect that you want, but the other way around. So, and don't start sending your CV also to everyone. That's another thing. So being pushy is also okay. So I'm a HR director and you send me a connection request. I accept the connection request, and 5 minutes after you send me your CV, well, but I was not looking probably for anyone. So try to understand the needs of the other person. Mainly try to put the other person speaking about themselves, about their business, because everyone likes to talk about themselves.
Yes, I love that. And it's all about finding the opportunity to connect. And earlier, when you said you can see people's reactions, that can open a door as well. So Nelson might react to an article and I could send him a message and say, oh, thanks for reacting to that post or whatever. That brought it into my feed and it was really valuable for me as well. No agenda, no, here, I'm going to send you something else, but just a genuine thank you and an opportunity to connect with that person. And that's really what we're trying to use. It's just a tool for us to use for relationship building and networking.